What's up guys, my name is Jess, I'm the creator of Pinkrex, and today we're going to be covering the Pokemon iceberg. It is my first iceberg video. If you like this type of content and you'd like to see more of it, please remember to like and subscribe down below and drop a comment of other game-related or iceberg-related topics you'd like me to cover next. If you're unfamiliar with the iceberg video chart, the tip of the iceberg is things that most people know and is common knowledge, and then every tier you go down is more and more obscure, hopefully less people know about it. It can range anywhere from dark and spooky to just being weird. So I think that's enough of an intro, I'm just gonna get right into it. So the first subject of the first layer is pocket monsters, which is just the long form of Pokemon. Originally called capsule monsters, Pokemon were inspired by Japanese gashapon machines. Apparently Tajiri had a hard time trademarking the name capsule monsters, so he changed it first to Capumon and then later to pocket monsters, or Pokemon for short. Next on the list is all 8 regions. So technically there are 9 total regions of the Pokemon universe as of the beginning of 2022 with the release of Pokemon Legends Arceus and the Hisui region, although it would become the Sinnoh region later on in the timeline. The Kanto and Johto regions of Gen 1 and Gen 2 are actually connected landmasses that are based on actual parts of Japan. Hoenn was the 3rd region and a completely separate landmass from the previous 2 regions. Hoenn also has a significantly higher ratio of water to land compared to the last 2, and it's home to the tropically inspired 3rd generation of Pokemon. The 4th generation is Sinnoh, and it's most recently talked about because of its connection to Pokemon Legends Arceus. It has significantly less water than Hoenn and is primarily focused on the areas divided up by the mountain. Unova with the 5th generation was actually the first region that wasn't themed after a place in Japan. Its structure and Pokemon are actually themed after New York City. Generation 6 came out with the Kalos region, which is a star-shaped landmass themed after metropolitan France. The Alola region came out with Generation 7 and is made of 4 natural islands and 1 man-made island. Galar is region number 8 in the series, and it was the first area to have more landmass added on later for players to explore and catch Pokemon. Alola and Galar both offer different regional forms of some Pokemon. And then technically the 9th region is Hisui, which is just an early version of Sinnoh, but also had different forms of different Pokemon. That one was a little bit long because it's kind of a list on its own, but the 3rd subject in the top of the iceberg is Eevee as a starter. It depends on if you only count Pokemon that you can start with as a player in the game, especially for older games. Eevee is first seen as a starter in 1998's Pokemon Yellow, just as your rival starter instead of your own. So like all starters aside from Pikachu, Eevee has a gender ratio of 7 males to 1 female. Yikes. Oh no. And honestly, I like Eevee a lot, so it's fine to stay as a starter in my book, especially with Let's Go Eevee. The 4th item on the first tier of the iceberg is that Ghastly is a dead Cloyster. This theory comes from the fact that Ghastly and Cloyster appear close to each other in the Pokedex and have super similar faces. Older games are really straightforward in saying that Ghastly are spirits of all dead Pokemon, not just of Cloyster. So while it's fun to speculate, this is just another case of not having enough evidence coming straight from the developers. Moving right along to level 2, more obscure, hopefully, possibly, maybe, things that not everyone knows about. The first item in level 2 of the iceberg is backward name meanings. To me, the names going forwards and backwards aren't anything more than a clever pun in reference to their real-life counterparts. For example, Ekans meaning snake, Arbok meaning cobra, cobra spelled phonetically, Rotom being motor, and Muck we don't talk about, because we're classy here. There are also Pokemon whose names are palindromes. This means that they're spelled the same whether you spell them forwards or backwards. Examples of this most commonly is Girafrig, whatever. It looks like a giraffe with a little face on its tail. Other examples include Eevee, Ho-Oh, and Alomomola. Sounds like a Harry Potter spell. Just by looking at the physical shape of the Pokemon and their names, some connections are more obvious than others, Ekans being a snake, but some of the name connections are harder to trace for Pokemon fans who only speak English. Ho-Oh's name, for example, is based on a word that refers to phoenix in Chinese mythology. Continuing on down the 2nd tier, we have that Butterfree and Venomoth swapped evolutions. The similarities of the evolutions are too close to deny, but why would they just swap evolution lines? The most popular theory is that it was simply an error that wasn't caught before the games Red and Blue were released in February of 1996. Another theory states that the evolution lines were changed because the creators wanted the first Pokemon Ash caught in the anime series to be a Caterpie, and they felt that kids would prefer the evolution into Butterfree over the less cute Venomoth. But right away, that theory has an obvious flaw in that the anime came out a full year after the first game was released in Japan. So unless the creators were doing some serious planning ahead, that one's probably not true. The second to last item in the 2nd tier of the iceberg is that Tbone is a baby Kangaskhan. I've heard people say Kangaskhan. It's supposed to be like Genghis Khan, so I say it Genghis Khan, but let me know which one you say. This is one that I've questioned since I was a little kid laying under my bed playing Pokemon Leaf Green in the middle of the night. The theory goes that Tbone is actually a young Kangaskhan, and it wears the skull of its dead mother, and carries one of her bones as a weapon. Both Pokemon can be encountered in the glittering cave of Pokemon X and Y. In Gen 2, they can both be encountered in the rock tunnel, and in Gen 5, they can both be encountered along Route 15. The fact that they're found in the same location in almost all games that they appear in the wild feels like the developers may have been hinting at the fact that this fan theory is correct. Some people also believe that Kangaskhan was intended to be the final evolution of Tbone, Marowak, and then Kangaskhan. This is because in the game, code exists for Marowak to evolve into a third form that isn't specified. Instead, they moved the leftover code to a new spot and created Missingno, which leads to our next point, and the last topic in the second level of the iceberg. So Missingno is of course short for missing number. It's an unofficial Pokemon species found in Pokemon Red and Blue that players can encounter through certain glitches in the programming related to in-game events. When a player encounters Missingno, an L-shaped grouping of fuzzy kind of pixels is pulled up as a normal/bird type Pokemon. And since bird type was scrapped for the games altogether, the Pokemon functions exactly like a plain old normal type in terms of strengths and weaknesses. What's a little bit less known is that it has 5 total forms. It's not just that fuzzy grouping of pixels, and the forms vary depending on the circumstance. Most commonly known, of course, is the grouping of pixels that's seen in Red, Blue, and a similar grouping of pixels is seen in Pokemon Yellow. It also has different cries, but typically it has what's referred to as a quote-unquote blank cry. More specifically, it has the same cry as Nidoran with no echo and a pitch of 0. It can't learn any new moves, and it can't evolve upon leveling up. And if it's caught at level 0, Missingno and similar glitch Pokemon can also corrupt your save file and force you to erase your data. And that would suck, especially for kids like my brother and I who put hundreds and hundreds of hours into our game just because we used to stay up late playing it every single day. I don't know, I would be pretty heartbroken. And that's actually going to do it for this video. I know it's kind of a short one, but I wanted to make sure that I had a good amount of information without the video going on for 8 years. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe and drop a comment down below of what you thought or other game-related / iceberg videos, topics you'd like me to cover. I also have a ton of content over on TikTok. My username is the same as it is on here. It's just pinkrex with 2 X's. I also have an Instagram page if you'd like to follow me there. I'd like to do some crossovers with plants in video games, like plants that appear in Animal Crossing or plants that appear in Ark Survival, plants that inspired the berries in Pokemon. If you'd like to see that, let me know. And always, I will pin my favorite comment at the top of the comments after I have some comments. Please comment, please. Please comment something. Yeah, that's all I got for now. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching.